It's another wonderful thing, and you're tuning to Love Bear Radio. This is Voices of the Millennials, and we are coming to you right here from the auspices of Toronto, bringing you the show that you love the most. Voices of the Millennials. My name is Annamaria Amissah, your regular host. Show is going to, happening and what is important and what is of essence to us millennials. So I want to give you an idea about how this is going to go. I already told you that Voices of the Millennials was hosting a summit. As a matter of fact, the third edition of the Voices of the Millennials Summit. And it continues to be, a significant platform. Young leaders, innovators, change makers are going to be heard agenda as millennials forward. And when we say millennials, I do get, the question about who a millennial is, when did the trend come up, and all of that. So for those of you who already know who millennials are, it's okay. There's nothing wrong with relearning and keeping abreast with trends that are ongoing. So, for the benefit, when we talk about millennials, don't really, sink in when we talk about millennials. I just think of who millennials are, so that, we can all be on the same page and we can all really defined as the cohort of individuals born between 1981 and 1996. And although the exact range can vary slightly depending on the source where you're getting your information from, it's basically between the years of 1981 and 1996. Usually, when they want to talk about millennials, they say they are that type of generation that was born just when the internet was setting in. So we tend to have the experience of when we did not have internet and then when the internet came into existence, when everybody got tech savvy, when the internet was coming in and everybody started using the internet to do a lot of things. That is when we were born. So that is how we are described. And we follow Generation X and we precede Generation Z, the Gen Zs. So we precede the Gen Zs. So as of 2024, millennials are between the ages of 28 and 43. So these are millennials. We are millennials, and I want to delve into our characteristics, what we are usually known for. I did my research and I just want to share with you so that we can have an idea about ourselves, because it is very important to be able to define yourself, to be able to know who you are. So this is just take it as tonight edition as being a tete-a-tete with the host of the Voices of the Millennials. It's just you and we are doing self-learning. We are learning about our generation and what people think about us, what the internet says about us. It's very important. So the characteristics of millennials, we are the digital natives. So when we say digital natives, we are the ones that rule the internet. Growing up during the rapid advancement of technology, Millennials are highly proficient with digital tools and the internet. They are often characterized as the first generation to have grown up with the internet and mobile technology. So, when it comes to millennials, there is nothing internet that we do not know. It's like we are the pioneers of it. So, everything that we do is internet savvy. We know what we are about. So, there is nothing that you can do that we won't know when it comes to the internet. We are very tech savvy. So if you're home and you have a millennial, you're good to go. Nobody can scam you. Nobody can really, use the internet to do anything that we will not find out about. So we are digital natives. That's a catch there. Now, education. Millennials are generally well educated with a significant number having attended college or university. They value continuous learning and self improvement. And that is very true. Millennials are very, very, very interested in self improvement. So we like to do continuous learning. We are always learning about something. What is up? What is up? We always know what is going on and how it's going on, and we like self learning. We always want to be on top of our game. And so you will meet a lot of millennials in very good positions in society because we like to learn. And like they say, you never stop learning. So it's very important that we don't learn. It's very important that we do learn. Very important that we do learn. I beg your pardon. Very important that we do learn at all times. Now, economic challenges. This generation, which is the millennial generation, has faced unique economic challenges, including the impact of the 2008 financial crisis, rising student debt, house market fluctuations, which have influenced their financial stability and career projections. So we have seen that times when there's been a lot of hardship, when there was that financial crisis. Yes, millennials all over the world have had that experience, and so it has sort of impacted the way we think, the way we see things, the way we do our things. And most millennials, we can say, have financial stability because we've been able to learn from that experience, and we are able to do our things in a way that we do not experience such hardships. And that has also impacted on our careers. And so you realize that millennials are very serious people. We like to explore and we like to make good investment decisions to make sure that we are always stable and afloat no matter what. So it's a good characteristic for the millennial generation, and I think that we should keep it up. So far, if I have mentioned the characteristics that I've mentioned, if you are a millennial but it doesn't really look like you, then you need to make that change so that you can follow, you know, uh, us, the millennials, and the way the trend is going, because we are very productive people. Now, we are diverse and have inclusivity. Millennials tend to be more ethnically and culturally diverse than previous generations and often advocate for inclusivity and social justice issues. Yes. So we like to meet people, we like to accommodate people, and at the same time, we like to involve people and let people come together to face a common goal or task. So we are very accommodating in a nutshell. We are not picky. We just make sure that we all come together and accommodate each other just for the common goal to be achieved. And that's, again, a very good characteristic of a millennial. Now, work life balance. We prioritize work life balance and are known for valuing experiences and personal fulfillment over traditional career success metrics. And we are often seeking flexible work arrangements and meaningful work. So it looks like, millennials are really the serious type. We are able to balance our work and our life and make sure that we are responsible in everything that we do. And it makes me happy to hear this and the fact that I'm part of such a productive and responsible generation. And that is what we like to, push and put in the limelight, so that you understand the group that you belong to as millennials and know where you should be headed, the direction in which you should be headed. And these are all very good characteristics that we can follow to become very productive in life. Now, importance of millennials in the society today. Workforce participation. So millennials make up a significant portion of global workforce, and our preferences and values are influencing workplace policies, including the rise of remote work, emphasis on work-life balance, and demand for more inclusive work environments. So you realize that a lot of ideas, a lot of you know uh, the kind of workforce that we build when we find ourselves in our various jobs, in our various work environments, shows that we like to make sure that everything that is made available in a way that supports work life balance and helps we as individuals to be comfortable and at the same time be able to thrive. So, because we like to thrive in everything that we do, we make sure that our environments obey that kind of, wish, so that we are able to do our work well and we are able to progress in life. You can only have a work life balance if your environment is a good one, if you have a conducive environment to be able to thrive and work and think. So you realize that most millennials are thriving in their businesses. They are thriving in whatever they find themselves in, and that's a good thing to talk about. Now, economic influence. As consumers, millennials have a substantial impact on the economy. Their spending habits are shaping industries from technology and entertainment to housing and retail. They are known for valuing convenience, sustainability, and ethical consumption. That is awesome. So, when you look at the top 40 entrepreneurs, or top 40 under 40s and mid 40s CEOs, you realize that all these great people are coming from the millennial generation. And that is because of the influence that we have in society and the kind of personal growth that we have allowed ourselves to go through. Innovation and entrepreneurship. Many millennials are entrepreneurs and innovators, driving new business models and technological advancements. Their propensity for digital entrepreneurship is leading to the creation of new markets and disrupting traditional industries. We have interviewed several entrepreneurs on the Voices of the Millennials. And when you see the kind of businesses, the kind of niches that they have been able to carve for themselves, it is just amazing. And that tells you that indeed millennials are very productive people who are always ready to learn and do something good. All right. So we move on to social and cultural impact. Millennials are very vocal about social issues, including climate change, social justice, and political reforms. Their activism and advocacy are influencing public policy and societal norms. And that's very true. You always see millennials at the forefront of activisms and advocacies, just to make sure that the societal norms and policies conform to make us comfortable and to make us productive in the society. Parenting and family dynamics. As millennials enter prime parenting years, they are shaping new norms around family dynamics, parenting styles, and education. The approach often emphasizes inclusivity, emotional intelligence, and digital literacy. By all means, because we are the pioneers of technology, of the internet, and so definitely digital literacy will be part of our parenting style, and that is amazing. But there are some downsides to everything. So I did chance on some challenges that millennials face as well, and that is economic struggles. So, despite their education, many millennials face financial instability due to factors like student loans, underemployment, and high cost of living. Underemployment is a topic that we will not be able to finish talking about if we start it, because it is a global challenge and it is everywhere. And unfortunately, millennials around the world have had to face some of these challenges one way or the other. Mental health. So there are growing recognition of mental issues within this generation, greatly due to pressures of modern life, economic uncertainty, and the persuasive nature of social media. So that is why on the show we advocate and always talk about the good use of social media, because we were part of the generation that brought in the internet. There are times that we do heavily rely on social media, and that is not a good thing. So if you are heavily reliant and not using it conducively, then that's a problem, because there is a downside to everything, and the internet is definitely one of them. So it's something that we do advocate on the Voices of the Millennials, and we hope that you are paying attention and using the social media wisely. Now, housing markets. Many millennials find it challenging to enter the housing market due to rising prices and economic constraints, leading to trends like delayed home ownership and prolonged renting. That's an issue. That really is an issue, and we hope that as we grow out of it, we'll be able to get past it and move on and thrive like we always do. Now, there is a concept called the midlife crisis among millennials, and those currently are in their late 20s and early 40s, and is manifesting in unique ways comparing to previous generations. While the term midlife crisis traditionally refers to a period of emotional turmoil, typically occurring in one's 40s and 50s, millennials are experiencing similar existential challenges earlier in life due to a combination of economic, social, and technological factors. Here are some of the key aspects of the millennial midlife crisis. So, economic pressures again, so financial instability. Many millennials are burdened with high levels of student debt, rising living costs, and relatively stagnant wages. This financial pressure can lead to feelings of insecurity and stress about the future. Mm. So, financial instability, delayed milestones. Economic challenges have caused millennials to delay traditional life milestones, such as being able to buy a home, getting married, starting a family. This delay can contribute to feelings of being behind in life. And that is true. That is why we often on the show try to encourage each other by bringing in um, mentors or people that are moving forward, are thriving despite the challenges that they find themselves in, because the goal is to be productive, and therefore these are challenges, and challenges sometimes help you to grow. So it should not be a setback. It should rather be a stepping stone, to be able to move forward. Once you stay focused, you can go through every challenge and still thrive and get to your goal. Career satisfaction and job market. Now, the job market volatility is also an issue. Millennials have faced a volatile job market influenced by the 2008 financial crisis and more recently the COVID 19 pandemic. This has resulted in job instability and a re evaluation of career paths. So, a lot of millennials have had to rethink, their jobs. When you are young and you are doing your wish list, often you say you want to be a lot of things, and then when you grow you realize that the direction is not going into where you want it to be. But then along the line you get to learn a new skill, find something else, and you realize that the job career is going to have to be reevaluated, and that's okay. It's not as bad. That's okay. Once you're able to reevaluate and get onto the path, the focus is to stay productive. The focus is to push on. The focus is to move on and get to where you want to get to. That is the goal, and that's what it is. Now, the desire for meaningful work. Unlike previous generations who often prioritize job security and steady income, millennials tend to seek purpose and fulfillment in their work. Discontent with unfulfilling jobs can lead to career shift or entrepreneurial pursuits. Entrepreneurial pursuits is not a negative thing. If you wanted to be a doctor and could not be a doctor, but then you realized that you could own your own business, be it in real estate or in marketing, it is just a evaluation of your career path. It is not a bad thing. You can still be successful if you are an entrepreneur. You can still be successful if you're a doctor. So let's not look at reevaluation of career as a negative thing, because it's not. Okay, so in summary, the millennial life crisis is characterized by a unique set of challenges shaped by economic instability, job dissatisfaction, mental health concerns, and a pervasive influence of technology. Addressing these issues requires a multifaceted approach that includes financial planning, career guidance, mental health support, and building strong social networks. Now, building strong social networks is going to lead me into my next topic of discussion with you, listeners, and it is about the VOM Summit. But I just want to assure you that the Voices of the Millennial platform is always coming your way with very interesting topics that matters to our generation. So you can be rest assured that we will delve into some of these discussions to help us, in our journey through life with some coaches, experts in the industry to be able to see how we can navigate some of these very important challenges that have been highlighted in this research. We will come your way with a lot of experts to be able to get us to understand some of these things and what we need to do to be able to navigate through. But as it ended, it says we need to build strong social networks. And that is why the Voices of the Millennials has put together a summit for you. And this is the very third edition that we will be hosting right here in Toronto. So, the Voices of the Millennials Summit, now in its third edition, continues to be a significant platform for young leaders, innovators, and change makers to discuss, deliberate, and drive forward the issues that are most pertinent to the millennial generation. This year's summit promises to be more impactful and engaging than ever, with a diverse array of speakers. We're going to have workshops, we're going to have networking opportunities. And I just want to use this opportunity to give you listeners who will be attending, what to expect from this landmark, very important event that is happening on the 13th of July at 76 Angle C Boulevard in Etobicoke. And it's happening from 2 p.m. to 6 p.m. So you cannot be late. You need to mark the calendar and be sure to attend this event. This event is organized by Love Bay Radio, and the owners, Uncle TYB and Janice, I wish they were here for me to interview them, to tell us how the journey has been and, the impact that it has had. But we will have time with them. We will definitely have time with them for them to tell us, what motivated them, what brought about all of this, and, the importance and the impact that it has had so far. But to give you details of this very important event, in the first year, we gave 3 scholarships. So the summit is also a platform where you attendees are able to win scholarships. And that is why we are admonishing each and every one of you, especially the students, to send your applications and essays to Love Bay Radio, infolovebay at gmail.com, with an essay and an application as to why you deserve a scholarship. There's going to be a panel, and the panel will do the selection. And if you meet the criteria, you're going to get a scholarship for school. And that is amazing. That is amazing, to win. So this platform has been of the essence, and it's an important one, and it's something that you cannot miss. So like I was telling you, year one, we gave 3 scholarships. Year two, we gave 4 scholarships. And so you can see the progression. And so this year, we are looking to do more. We are looking to do more. And this is for Canadian students. The criteria is for Canadian students. And you must be in school. One tip is for your applications, we will be looking at your academics and your volunteer work. So it's very important that you must have done some volunteer work to be eligible or to be able to qualify for the scholarship. So these are some of the things that we will be looking at. But just before I continue, we would like to celebrate the pioneer of the Voices of the Millennials, the show. Prince was the pioneer. It was his idea, and he was the very first host of the Voices of the Millennials. Wherever you are, Prince, we salute you. The show is ongoing and is making impacts, and I believe that was the dream when you birthed it, and it's doing amazing. So we celebrate you wherever you are, Prince, the pioneer of the Voices of the Millennial and first host. So if you would like to sponsor, if you would like to sponsor us as the Voices of the Millennials team, as Love Bay Radio, giving out scholarships on the 13th of July, would like you to reach us on 437-778-3299, or you can send us an email on infolovebay at gmail.com, and somebody at the office will definitely get in touch with you. Whatever you want to give, whatever amount, we do accept it, and it will be for a good cause. We will be giving students the scholarship for them to continue their school and make their dreams come true. So please, if you do want to sponsor us, do not hesitate. Just get into contact with us, and somebody would respond definitely. Let me give you the highlights of the event. So we have 3 very powerful speakers coming to us: Kelina Powell, Dr. Tapo, and Rhiannon Rosalind. And you can't miss this very important summit, because these are individuals that are definitely going to impact your life, just listening to them and the experience that they will be bringing to the summit. It's one of a kind, and you wouldn't want to miss that. There's going to be There are tickets available right now on Eventbrite. We need you to register. So just go on Eventbrite, look out for the Voices of the Millennial Summit, and just get your ticket on there. You just all you have to do is to register for this event. It is a free event, so registration is free. Just go on Eventbrite, get your ticket, register. There's going to be refreshment, there's going to be entertainment. We're going to have dances. It's going to be a beautiful session where you're going to learn, you're going to be inspired, and at the same time, you're going to be entertained. You can't miss this. You honestly can't miss this. So please do go on Eventbrite, find the Voices of the Millennial Summit, register and get your tickets, and do walk in style on the 13th of July. Let's have the summit and let's create memories. Let's create memories. Okay, so again, if you do want to give us some sponsorship packages, please do reach us. You can just give us a call, 437-778-3299. Send us an email at infolavebay@gmail.com and we will get to you with immediate effect. Why should you attend the Millennial Summit? If you didn't hear anything that I said, then listen to this. Why should you attend the Voices of the Millennial Summit? Gain insight and inspiration. Sometimes, as a young individual, a young adult, all you need is to get that insight, that inspiration from something that you hear or something that you see to give you the motivation to go on for the goal, for that idea, for that business idea that you want to, invest in. All you need is to get that insight. And we are assuring you that you are going to get that insight and that motivation when you attend the Voices of the Millennial Summit. That is a promise. Also, you need to expand your network. It is very important. If you are already in business, if you're already a thriving millennial, doing well for yourself, you still need that network and you need to expand it, even if you already have a network. So, the Voices of the Millennial Summit is going to be a platform that will give you, that network base, that opportunity to expand your network, meet individuals, meet industry leaders, meet people that you can possibly collaborate with in your business. And that is way to go for any thriving individual, especially a business person. Now, develop new skills. Sometimes you will have a skill that you're already, working on, but when you meet people, when you hear good thoughts, when you hear good conversations, when you join, very innovative and thriving individuals, gathered together, talking and having a conversation, you realize that you develop new ideas and new skills. And that is something that, can be an add on to your business or anything that you are doing. So it's a good thing. It's a good thing. And we believe that you will be able to develop a skill when you join us at the Voices of the Millennials Summit this year. And it's going to be a good impact on you as a person, you as an individual, your personal growth and your business. Also, to be part of a productive conversation is something that you cannot miss on. You know, Learning new things, listening to people, and having a voice on global issues. It's a good thing. And for us, it is very important that we always highlight, matters that affect millennials, matters that are important, of importance to millennials. And that is why you must attend the summit. So please register, go on Eventbrite, look for the Voices of the Millennial Summit, and register to attend this very important event for your own personal growth, for your own reflection, for your own self discovery, and to be able to build personal stories that will build you. It will build your story, your legacy. It's an important event that we hope that you will be able to attend and you will not miss. So, like I said, it's on the 13th of July 2024. It's going to be at 76 Anglesey Boulevard in Etobicoke, and it's starting from 2 p.m. to 6 p.m. It's going to be fun, and you need to be there. It promises to be an inspiring and transformative event, bringing together a diverse group of young leaders and change makers. And because we are going to be focusing on innovation, inclusion, and sustainability, the summit will aim to empower millennials to shape a better future for themselves and generations to come. Now, so whether you are an entrepreneur, an activist, a professional, or a student, this summit is for you because it's going to offer invaluable opportunities to learn, to connect, and to make a difference. So don't miss out on the chance to be part of this pivotal event. It is the Voices of the Millennials Summit, where your voice matters. All right, so I think I have given you a good lecture today on millennials, everything that we are, who we are, and the main event that is going to be the talk of the town, the Voices of the Millennial Summit. And yes, I will be your host. So if you've only heard me, you will get to see me as well. And we will interact and network and make good connections so that we all thrive as productive individuals. I am going to go on a quick break. I will come back with a young person who is having an event, an important event. We will chit chat with him to find out all about the event that is happening next week. And we will get to know how it is going to impact us, how it is going to be of importance. And we'll just get to know a little more about him as an individual. So, this is Love Bay Radio, Voices of the Millennials, and we will be right back. Mm. All right, so we are going to be joined by George. Let me know if George can join us so that we get to know about the event that is happening. Hello, George.
Hi, I will call you in an African way, Annamaria.
Yes, Anna Maria. So, how are you doing? How is it going?
I am doing very fine. Tensions are rising because we have an event coming up very soon, but nevertheless, it is all for the good of the event, and executions are all perfectly doing well.
Okay, so tell us about the event. What is the event about?
Well, this is the International Conference on Healthcare and Social Work, and this is the like this is a maiden event for healthcare and social work. And guess what? We are going to be having researchers, educations, experts, and recruiters. We are going to have at least many people coming through from the international blend to be able to speak about the theme health in a social perspective. As you know, health is getting away from just the well, like it's first of all, health is a well-being, like universal well-being of a human being, but the social aspect of the human well-being, like you've been talking about the millennials, there is a lot of social aspect that forms the well-being of a person these days. And these social aspects and tenants are actually informing the well-being of a person. And if I may ask you, if you're going to work, for instance, and then you call in sick, you call in and say, okay, hey, my voice and my throat is really aching and I'm falling sick. Guess what? They're going to say, oh, you can stay home. However, these days, when you call in sick and tell the employer that, look, I am stressed and I may not be able to work today, guess what? They will not allow you to have a takeoff. Like they will not give you a day off, right? Now, these are the things that we need to talk about, because if you take a look at the current situation, we are living in a situation where health moves hand in hand with social aspects and social well-being. And the tenets of this is what we are calling the integrated care, the integrated health care. And the integration of healthcare has two forms, which is prevention and management. But both of them require some sort of access, right? And this is our main target audience, of course, is immigrant population, and also the caregivers, and all the service providers. Now, because in health there is something called the care for the caregiver. So if the caregiver is providing care to the client or the patient, who is caring for the caregiver, for instance? So all those are aspects that we need to speak about and talk about. And then when you look at the tenets of accessibility, which is very important, because when you look at the alliance between health and social aspect, you look at it in many ways. There is social, there is cultural, and then there is spiritual. Now, if someone is accessing, if I have a strain and I have situations with my family and it is killing me mentally, the first person that they will have to deal with or tell is maybe a spiritual leader, for instance. In this case, this person is actually looking at the spiritual leader as the biggest contributor of their mental well-being. So how does the health provider acknowledges the importance of the spiritual solution that this person is accessing from whatever counseling sessions that they're receiving from the spiritual aspect? When you go to church, a mosque, and all these other spiritual houses, they are dealing with a lot of clients or patients or people that are going through medical and clinical situations as well. How does the medical sector acknowledge the provisions and the contributions of the social tenets of a human well-being? We are looking at the cultural wholesomeness of accessing care. For example, when you look at the senior care living today, if you look at someone that is culturally coming from, let's say, from a background where they don't eat specific type of food, but then in this kind of situation where they are being housed or they're in the same locality or a situation where everybody has to be treated equally, the person will not eat certain type of food simply because they are not culturally trained or culturally able to access that kind of food, and this person will not be will be excluded from that kind of care. Now, there is quite a lot of aspects that we can talk about. However, the conference is basically looking at health in a social perspective. And in
So
this way,
I was going to ask you, I heard that is the maiden edition. So I was just going to ask you, what's the highlight of this very event?
so the highlight of this event, we have speakers from different walks of life, and
Okay.
we do have people that have practiced in the industry for very, very many years. We do have Nightingale. Nightingale is one of the biggest institutions that advocated for what you call integrated healthcare
Okay.
in Canada, and that is represented by Dr. Divar. And then we do have keynote speakers that are going to grace the event. We're going to be hosting the MPP for Don Valley East, that is Honorable Adil Shamji, that will also be gracing this event, and among other very great speakers and experts in the field of health and social work.
Where exactly is the event happening? When and where?
Well, we are doing this event at Ontario Science Centre, that is located at 77 Don Mills Road, that is North York. And also the event is taking place it starts at 8 until 4 p.m. 8 a.m. until 4 p.m. Now, there is some aspect that we've incorporated in this event. You've been talking about millennial voices and millennial challenges. There is housing, financial, relationships, career satisfaction, and all these aspects are really squeezing up a millennial to have a mental strain. Okay,
Yeah.
now all these aspects, we are trying to solve some of these challenges as well. If we are talking about career satisfaction, we have created what we call the Healthcare and Social Work Career Fair. The
Okay.
career fair entails, we're going to have about 4 recruiters, 4 institutions or companies or organizations that will diligently do recruitment. Now, under recruitment, we also have organization. We are, by the way, our silver sponsor this year is Dixon Hall. As you are aware, Dixon Hall has a lot of employment service programs that provides a millennial at least some guidance. And in this case, we have institutions that are also going to gear up a millennial to be able to tailor make their career perception to clear up. In other words, if someone wants to change a career, for example, from another to healthcare or social work, there are some interactions with an expert in the field is very, very valuable. If someone has a resume that they've done social work in this kind of field, then they can also still at least have a recruitment which will take place. We have 2 desks that will be doing real-time recruitment and interviews. So anyone that will be attending this event should come with their resume ready and ready for an interview. And also, when you look at this, the real-time, what you call millennial stressors, when you look at relationships, those are contributors of mental situations that actually create some other aspects of social well-being and health well-being of a millennial. So as voices of the millennial, I'm speaking as a millennial as well. So I am
Yes.
very
Okay.
much aware and familiar with the challenges that really, especially from an immigrant background, I'm very much aware of the barriers that are created within the systems that can make you get strained. If you come here as an educated specialist, for example, as I am, you end up having to jump so many hurdles to actually get into the industry. Now, this conference like this is able to bring these experts and bring these institutions together and say, hey, this is where you can start off if you want to get into nursing, for example, if you want to get in as a health professional or a social worker. So how about if I come when I have the social work degree or master's degree, whatever the case it might be. What happens to me? How do I get into the system? So which means that necessitates a system change. We want to be able to create conversations that can inform policy, that can advocate for change of policies. In other words, if I come when I practice as a doctor in my home country, the human body is the same and the understanding of disease may be different and cultural aspects may be different. However, I would be glad to have a bridging situation that can enable me practice in a short time, not going back to, like they told me some time ago, to go back and do high school.
That's a challenges, some of the challenges that most people face as well. Do you think that
Yeah.
this has got to do with racism, should I say?
Well, there are many tenants that are really in there because one, there is cultural, as we said. There is also systemic kind of, the policies are built in such a way that they capture someone that is already inside. So crossing the barrier, crossing the boundary, climbing the fence of that system is what you will now call the barrier. But then that barrier is informed by so many factors. Policy-wise, there is one. Then racism also is in there. But these days, I no longer, I am past discussing racism and all these other aspects, much as it's in there and it's recognizable. But there are other ways that you can create conversation to just come out with this concept and have this event alone. I've seen a lot of fences which are being raised in front of my face, and I just need to create a way around the fence to make sure that I am on the other side of success. And that is how I perceive, because I will not lament on racism all the time, but what am I doing about the system? I must advocate and create a voice to inform policy, just like what I'm doing right now.
Yes, so it's better to get the solution than think about, the challenge and staying there. So that's wonderful. How are people going to be able to have access to this conference? Is there a registration portal? Are you selling tickets? How are they supposed to find this conference?
Well, the conference is online. You can access the registration portal through our registration page, which is Eventbrite. We are registering to be honest with you, our first registration portal on Eventbrite for the career fair sold out, and we had to create another one. And another one is still running. Just search for Healthcare and Social Work Career Fair 2024. And also the conference itself also is available on Eventbrite. Now, if you are an organization, it's now, we are still registering, but you can reach out to us on info@ichs.ca to register your organization without having to pay any fees. Otherwise, the registration for a booth, to have a booth at the event, we have run out of booth, so we are no longer taking any payments for the booth. However, to attend the event is free of charge. There is no selling of tickets. There are no tickets except if you are an organization. However, we do not have any booth anymore. And for that reason, we are taking in registration. We have also Google Forms that we are sharing in different social media platforms. We are available at www.ichs.ca/register. And also you can find us at globaleventscanada.ca. Now, this whole event, the two events are organized by Global Events Canada. And I am proudly the proprietor of Global Events Canada.
That's wonderful. Let me ask you how it's been managing a business as a young millennial.
Well, personally, I immigrated to this country, and when I was hit by what you would call the barrier, which we have just mentioned and talked about in a few seconds ago, I kind of got depressed that my education was no longer going to be valuable to me, much as I have a background in biological science. I have a background in agribusiness management, which I did from Israel. But when I was told to really do certain things in a certain way to get somewhere, I felt like this was like a turning point for me, but also a breaking point because I couldn't move forward with my career ambitions simply because I do not have a specific qualification that they're looking for. Now, what I did was to look out of the box and I say, okay, I can do a business, and that is how I started. I have a trucking company. I own 2 trucks and under Willowden International, and then also I have Global Events Canada. So it's not been easy. I have had so many thorns to step on. I have had so much to really build up to be sustainable, like to build a sustainable business. You have a lot of situations that has to go on. No one can give you a contract to run when you don't have insurance for a big truck, and the insurance for a big truck is extremely high if you don't have a good credit score, good credit records, and all these other aspects of maintaining a business. And you cannot actually fully concentrate on the business because the bills must be paid. So at the end of the day, you must choose between either working for yourself or working for somebody. So I chose to sustain myself by working for myself, and it is not easy. I cannot say it is easy because I can only say that it depends on the commitment and the determination that you put up on the table, and that's it.
What would be your advice to a millennial listening who is trying to, go on a path that will sustain him or herself, but may be scared of the challenges that are inevitably there to, go through?
Well, as a millennial myself, I know one thing. There is no such thing as, I don't like the word no, and I don't like the word used, like to be used. Now, at the end of the day, it depends on the goals that you set for yourself and the ambitions that you are ahead of you. However, you can't see my ambitions and what I have achieved or what what I'm trying to work on right now as your main aspect to aspire as well. You need to set your goals beyond my goals, because at the end of the day, circumstances differ. If I was able, if the most of the millennials right now, they suffer from what you would call adopted lifestyle. So if I am driving an Escalade, for example, 2012, and this new immigrant comes in and say, "Oh, George is driving this car. I need to get a car better than George," but not knowing the hurdles and the hardships that George has gone through to drive this car, you do not know what income that George has to actually sustain his life like that. So guess what happens? He adopts this, and then because accessibility to some of these credits details, mortgage, car loans and stuff is quite easy, they get locked into what you call a financial prison. And when you're locked in there, you start struggling to pay bills and struggle to get yourself out, but you cannot breathe because your financial situation is strangling you because of maintaining the current lifestyle you have. So what I can tell a millennial is simply to make sure that you live based on how you can afford and not to aspire below the belt.
Excellent. Thank you so much, George, for joining us and for sharing with us the event that is upcoming. We wish you all the very best. And we hope that, you actually have your event sold out. So it's not like you need people to attend the event. Your event is sold out already.
Yeah,
Right?
sure. We just the career fair is sold out, and we are hoping to host as many people as we can, because sometimes the hurdles and hardships that they have showed us within the setup and the conceptualization of this project alone has given us more courage to show that yes, we can. You didn't trust us that we can deliver, so let us deliver beyond your expectations, so that next time we knock your door, you can open for us to work with you. We've had so many government institutions that reached out to us, and then when they see your face looking at like me, and then they start pulling out and say, "Oh, we are sorry, we can no longer work with you." So the first question they ask you, who are you working with? Who is your sponsor? Who is this? So the question becomes less of the matter, that then it becomes the question of identity. Who are you working with? Who is behind you? So I don't like those questions, much as it's hard to talk about it, but it's the reality that is out there. So if I was just weak to really give up, I would be like, you know what, these people don't believe in me, so guess what, I am out. But I am pushing on to make sure that I create a statement for them to say, okay, look, this institution or these young people, these millennials, were able to come up with these concepts. Now, this is what they were able to achieve. They were able to host this number of people, and we've written a report because I have a team of people that are going to come through to volunteer. There are very many people that are coming up to volunteer, and their time will be paid off by making sure that we are able to write a report that can be sent to, let's say, immigration, to Ministry of Health, and all these other institutions, all these policy making authorities that can be able to speak to the voices of the needs that are on the ground. And that is what I'm trying to do.
You've done well. I mean, we support you and we wish you the very best in your maiden edition. We know that it's going to be big, and your second edition is going to be even bigger. So well done, and thank you for joining us. Listeners, this has been the Voices of the Millennials. Thank you for coming through like you always do. My name is Annamaria Amissah. Until next time, we will come your way again with information and educative, topics that matters to our generation. Have a wonderful evening.